don't think you have as much strength and can compete with a man, even though I'm a white belt.
You know how to push my buttons. That was exactly how to get me to throw you. I'm sorry.
I felt my ribs crush.
Well, you know, the thing I love about that video is I like how she was kind of trying to let him know, like, I like how you, and the next thing you know, he is on his back.
Right.
What do you think about that? And hard. What do you think about that?
You should know better. You should know better. No. Ronda Rousey's been doing this for a minute. I don't know, I don't know if this was stick or whatever, I think he was set up, he had his gi on and everything. I think he figured he was going to get flipped, but she might not be able to do it. I don't think he expected to come down and the ribs to get cracked. Right.
Because that one sounded hard.
Right.
He was in pain.
Only idiots.
Right.
Only idiots feel that they can go up to somebody who's at that level of their profession and beat them doing it.
You got somebody here.
I'm not calling out any idiots, but only an idiot would do that.
Our
But even our producer was back there.
Brian Bork, what did he tell us in the meeting today? He could beat
Brian, I'm not throwing you under the bus.
I am.
I'm not
in a fight.
I'm not throwing you under the bus, Brian. I'm not saying any names.
Oh, don't punk out now. Wait a minute. No, don't do that now.
He said he could beat Ronda Rousey in a fight.
Exactly.
I said, I'm thinking, oh, you train. Like, okay, you
And what
do
did he
MMA,
say?
you do all that.
And what did
He's
he
like,
say?
no,
I can just do this.
I'm just beat her up.
But I want to know, are you confident enough in your masculinity where you would ask
This
her
ain't got
to
nothing to
show
do with
you?
masculinity.
I'm just asking a question.
I mean, first of all, I'm a gentleman.
Oh, you
See,
are
I'm a gentleman.
Oh, okay.
I don't treat women, I don't challenge women to fights and things like that. So I never would do that.
No, but I wanted to know, would you be secure enough in your masculinity to ask her to show you a couple moves?
To let her slam me like that?
No, just show you.
Not now.
Not now.
That's what dog
She can show me a move and demonstrate it on somebody else. Already, when I kick the leg over and I slam, I don't want to be to slam me to her slam her in that situation.
But
I don't
if
want
she showed
that.
you a couple moves, this could be helpful if you walking in South.
As long as the end result, I'm not like that guy.
Yes.
That's like the Waterboy, the movie. That's what that is. This guy thought he could go out there and Bobby Boucher her and think that was going to work.
Right.
Yeah, we saw how that ended.
Look, she's a professional fighter.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. Why
She
did
is
you
a
put that out there?
professional fighter. And I say even to boxers,
Right.
don't get in the ring with an MMA person. Because if you don't knock them out in the first few seconds and they get you on your back, you're in trouble. MMA fighters don't go in the boxing ring.
Right.
Because they'll knock you out. You know, so stay in your lane. That's the lesson from this.
Yeah.
This dude, stay in your lane.
People don't realize how great pro athletes are.
Right.
Male or female.
Right.
You have no idea how good these people are. They're not on planet Earth.
And I think the thing about Ronda Rousey is you look at it and she's not as big as she presents herself on television. So you're like, oh,
Really?
I can take it.
135,
135. And like Brian's like 180. That's what he's like, oh, I'm 180, I can get her. You leave that only
Pound for
idiots.
pound.
Only idiots, right? Only idiots.
Right.
This is what she does for a
That's
profession.
what she is.
This is her
Thank you.
profession, and she's at the top of her profession.
The bigger they
Right,
are,
she's
the
it.
harder
She's
they
it.
fall.
She's the
Okay.
one that's turned this thing to an art form. Are you gonna challenge her?
Well,
Brian,
breaking news. This is
Bork.
to my ear. They want to know what would happen if Bork was in the cage. But come on.
I know what would happen.
He
What we
would
just
be-
saw.
she would break the record of 14 seconds. She just set
Yeah.
that record. She would he would
Like
be
Derek
done
point
in less than a dozen seconds.
Put it this way. I don't know if
She
he can,
would wrap him up.
All right.
Right,
I don't know if Brian can beat
submit.
Ronda Rousey, but I guarantee he'll run the 109 flat.
That's what I was about to
Get
say.
away
Right,
from
right.
her.
That's the record that'll be broken.
I'm
You're saying both records will be broken.
But I'm curious about this because I've been hearing about, whether she's good for the sport in the sense that she's so far away from her next competitors. What do you think about that? Do you feel like it's good that she's so dominant?
Yeah, but, I mean, we're talking about her.
Yep.
If her last fight had been a war and she won in a decision in 3 rounds or whatever, we wouldn't be talking about her.
Right.
She's been on all the shows. She's
Right.
like a Mike Tyson. It's like that type of
Absolutely.
impact.
Exactly.
Now, it would be even better, in my view, if she was clocking people. Like if she had just knocked this girl out with one punch
Right.
versus
Not for the
making
arm
her
bar.
submit.
Right.
I mean, that's good, but I'm just saying that's a little more exciting if you actually
Like
just knocking people
Tyson-esque.
out. But I think it's good. I think somebody will rise up, though, at some point to challenge her.
Well,
It won't be Brian Bork, our producer.
No,
Yes.
it will not be him.
And speaking of I just heard this on my ear. He said all of y'all are not welcome back tomorrow. He would not win.
Tomorrow Saturday.
Tomorrow Saturday.
Oh, yeah. They already
We
have
all
extra
good. We all
plans.
good.
But real quick, let's just talk about this as we're wrapping up the show. What are your expectations in the Cavs-Hawks game tonight?
Where's the game at, by the way?
Hawks got him bad last time.
Yeah.
I think the pride may seep in to Cleveland, and they look at this as a statement game. So I see Cleveland
Go ahead, Chris.
This is a statement game. Whether I don't know how they're viewing it, they should be viewing it as a statement game. Atlanta's beaten them twice this season, once without LeBron, hammered them in Cleveland. You don't meet again until the playoffs. They need to, Cavaliers need to come out and make a
statement game for both teams. I'll take Atlanta. I think Atlanta wants to show people that they are going to be better than Cleveland when they get into the playoffs. So I'll take Atlanta.
So you got Atlanta going to the finals.
I got Atlanta going to the conference finals. Yes,
no, the finals.
No, I said 50-50 they could get there. 50,
I'm asking you.
I'm not telling you now because I don't know. I'm not doing that. I don't care.
You just said Atlanta's going to be better.
Another debate for Freddie, for Chris,
like
Josephine Anderson. Thanks for joining us on First Take.
Run it, man.
Well, what you just saw was a powerful PSA released yesterday to launch the Lean In Together campaign, a new partnership between Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In organization and the WNBA and NBA. For those of you who may not know, Sheryl Sandberg is the current COO of Facebook, a Disney board member, and the author of Lean In, which has now sold over $2.5 million copies, and a phenomenal woman to say the least, and she's joining us here on First Take.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like I should bow.
No, I feel like I should bow.
We definitely are so appreciative of you joining us here on the desk. And why don't you tell us about the Lean In campaign, which was launched yesterday, and why it was so important to involve the NBA and the WNBA?
We're so honored to partner with the NBA and the WNBA and to be here with you, because if we're going to get to equality, men are going to have to lean in as much as women, and they should do it not just because it's the right thing to do, even though, of course, it is, but because it's good for them. When men lean in and support women at work, they outperform their peers because they're working with 50% of the population better. When men are more active partners in the home, they do the chores, they have happier marriages and more sex. It's a good reason.
Well, all righty then.
You heard it here. Listen, break the ice
right there. Yes. I tell men, don't buy flowers, do laundry. I heard a man heard that. His wife asked him to do laundry. He picked up a basket. He said, is this lean in laundry? If this is lean in laundry, I'm in. But if not, there's a game on.
Yes.
And as fatherhood, children, no matter how active a mother is, no matter what income level they're at, when they have more active fathers, they are healthier, happier, they do better in school, and they do better professionally. And so telling everyone to lean in together is really powerful, and there's no better partner than the NBA and the WNBA to do that.
I'm glad you mentioned about having men involved in women's sports. If you had a chance, how would you get men more involved to watch women's sports? Because plenty of men look at women's sports and they say, that's not for me. Oh, she's not attractive enough. How would you do that so men can be more engaged with so many women's sports starting to take center stage in this country?
I think one answer is fatherhood. My brother-in-law, Mark, great guy, was always a sports fan. He had 2 daughters and became a rabid Stanford women's basketball fan. They fly around the country after Tara Vanderveer looking at those games because he wants that example for his daughters. And he felt that watching men's sports was good, but maybe she couldn't see herself in it. I see men of the NBA, NFL players, the people of ESPN posting part of the Lean In Together campaign about their daughters. The Rock did an unbelievable post yesterday of holding his daughter and said, my daughter's going to be a CEO. And I think often men want the best for their girls. And girls' sports, women's sports are a huge asset for girls.
I'm glad because I leaned in for my mom, Maddie Coleman, who lives in Alton, New York. I wouldn't be here without her influence. And we know what kind of influence social media continues to have, whether you're an athlete, non-athlete, male, female. What do you think about athletes, the way they use social media, especially in this day and age where it's instantaneous what goes on?
We're seeing a great example of what's going on with the Lean In Together campaign, and I'm really proud that Facebook's a big part of this. Facebook is the largest community of real sports fans anywhere in the world. 650 million sports fans on Facebook. Most of them come back every day. So look at what happened yesterday. Steph Curry posting that I'm leaning in for my family. Dwayne Wade sharing that he is in for his mother, his wife, his grandmother. I think sports fans, they want to see great games, they want to see great victories, but they want to know who the players are, and they want to know what the players care about. And for the first time, we're not just observers of games, but we're participants. We can feel and talk to them and hear from them as they post and share what they care about. And I think it's a great opportunity. It brings the fans closer to the players.
So how do you feel like the Lean In campaign can help women in high-profile positions, whether it's Becky Hammon or Michelle Roberts, like, you know, and how she's leading the NBA union right now?
Well, these are part of why we picked the NBA to partner, right? The NBA has been a lot of firsts for women. Michelle Roberts, as you said, this is the players electing their union representative. She's the one negotiating for them, and that's amazing. You see Becky Hammon coaching. You see refs on the court, and that matters. And I think what we see with the WNBA is a men's professional league going into business on women's sports, and that's really exciting. And I think it tells more little girls that they can be Sue Bird, and more little girls that they can be Becky Hammon, and more little girls that they can be you. That this is an industry that's not just for men, it's for women, and that equality benefits all of us.
And young ladies that can be you.
And you too.
Yes, all of us. And maybe not you.
Well, if a young lady wants to be me, we need to talk to her real quickly.
But you know what you just did is you just said, I'm celebrating my mom.
Absolutely.
And that's what Lean In Together is. You saw Jeb Bush posting. He
Right.
celebrated his mom, his wife, and his lieutenant governor.
Wow.
Think about Kevin Durant's MVP speech. I mean, I cried thinking about it, and I cried watching it. He said, my mom was the MVP because when there was no food on our table, she made sure we ate and she went to bed hungry. And you look at these players out there, and they all have stories of what their mom sacrificed to get them there. And when men like you celebrate your mom, you are taking a step for equality that men all over the place emulate.
Well, I know you're celebrating because your Golden State Warriors, best team in the Western Conference. A little birdie told me that you are a Golden State Warriors fan. All right, give me the chances of your team winning a championship. Now, take off your bias hat. Oh, come on now. Take off your bias hat now. How are they going to do this?
I have a 9-year-old son. He wears a Steph Curry or David Lee jersey to school every day. We went through 2 weeks where he only wore the Steph Curry one, and I kind of said, you know, sweetie, people think you only have one shirt, and it's dirty. He's like, but I have 2, and they get washed. I cannot say anything but 100% for the Warriors winning the finals as I sit here if I'm going to go home tonight.
Yeah,
We're going to win.
You can't go home. Yeah.
And Steph Curry's going to be the MVP.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
I like that.
Or maybe not first.
Well, definitely, we appreciate you joining us on the desk. This whole Lean In campaign is very special.
Fantastic.
I was reading about the Lean In circles, too. If you go to leanin.org, definitely something special to promote equality amongst women and also making sure that we're getting equal pay on the dollar.
That's right. And we want everyone to join us. So not just all these famous stars like you all and the players, but everyone watching. Post your story.
Absolutely.
You're a man, post a picture of how you're leaning in for equality with your wife, with your daughter. Hugh Jackman was taking out the trash yesterday on Facebook. And if you're a woman, a man who's helped you lean in, like Serena Williams with her dad.
Yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of women out there that would love for Hugh Jackman to take out their garbage.
Correct.
Let's put it that way.
Oh, I definitely would not have a problem with that. You are quite the lady, CLO of Facebook, Harvard grad, on the board for Disney as well. So all women should definitely aspire to do what you have accomplished in your career. So we appreciate you joining the desk.
Thank you for helping us all lean in together. I appreciate being here.
Our pleasure.
All right. Well, we want to hear from our audience. Men, show the world you are for equality, and women celebrate men leaning in for equality. Head over to our Facebook page and go to Twitter using the hashtag #LeanInTogether to tell us what you lean in for. Definitely, we appreciate you joining us on the desk.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, well, after the break, Ronda Rousey beat her opponent in 14 seconds on Saturday night, but wait until you see what she did to a reporter.
Speaking of equality.
Speaking of equality, that video is next. Yep.